This is eCoffee with Experts, where marketers and founders share what's actually working in SEO, AI, and digital growth. Grab your coffee and fuel your mind as we chat with top minds about their wins, struggles, and lessons you won't find in a blog post. Brought to you by Digital Web Solutions, we bring real talk to help you grow your business, one episode at a time. Let's get started.
Hey, hi everyone. Welcome to your show, eCoffee with Experts. This is your host, Ranmay here. And today we have Jasmine Jex, who is the co-founder of OCO with us. Hey, Jasmine, how's it going?
Good. Thank you so much for having me today.
Lovely. Jasmine, before we move any forward, let's go back a bit, in the sense, why don't you talk us through your journey so far, how it all started, how is it going, and also about OCO, what you guys do. I see there are two businesses. If you can explain it more, then we can take it from there.
Yeah, absolutely. So taking it back to university days, I studied fashion marketing and was concurrently working with a number of fashion startups all in the marketing departments. From there, I started a fashion rental platform called Remint and ended up having to put that on hold because of COVID. Of course, no one was really renting clothes during that time. And that's when my business partner, Devin, and I started OCO Strategy. So it started as a social media management agency, but quickly expanded into a full branding and marketing agency. So now we do everything within the branding and marketing space, and we work with a wide range of clients. So everything from fashion and beauty to finance and tech, lots in between as well. That's kind of what has led me to today. Now under OCO, we have OCO Strategy, so the agency that we started with. We also have OCO Assembly, which is community and education for creatives and marketers. And then we're soon to be launching OCO Approved as well, which is a platform to connect freelance marketers with clients.
Lovely. And then your background, in fashion and your experience with Raymond, obviously COVID and all happened, but how it kind of influences your leadership or your decision making with your current agency or current business now? How has it helped?
Yeah, having worked on Remint, I think I learned a lot of what not to do, honestly. And I think
Which is
that
important.
yes, it is important. And I'm glad I learned it early. I started Remint when I was 21. And so I was able to kind of have that steep learning curve early in my career, which I'm really grateful for. But I would say that as it pertains to COVID, one thing that I really took away was to make sure that you're really diving into everything that could go wrong in your business model and identifying those challenges before you launch to be prepared. And so, for example, with Remint, I was very quick to come up with the concept, to validate it. But when I was doing the validation process, I was so keen on the specific idea that I wasn't necessarily taking any points of challenge or points of concern to heart because I was so passionate and excited about the direction that we were going in. And then when COVID hit, shipping rates in Canada increased significantly, and also the stability of shipping going on time decreased. So with those two changes, the model for Remint wasn't really doable in Canada anymore once COVID ended. Had I really done my due diligence on anything that could change or go wrong within the business model, I would have more likely identified that and maybe looked outside of Canada for a launch area, or just thought more outside of the box about what could go wrong and how to navigate it. So I would say that that was one of my biggest takeaways. And then another one was that I think that there's also a lot of hesitation with just getting it out there when you have your first business. So you want everything to look perfect. And I know that I really invested heavily into legal setup, into having the platform developed really, really well, photo shoots, etc. And I think that had I spent more time on, the business plan itself and less time on how it's presenting within the world, I would have been better off. So I think really diving into your business plan, but then from there, launching fast and adjusting. So not being obsessed with how it all looks when you first launch.
Absolutely good pointers there. Seems that it was a good learning experience, right? People call, people take it as, businesses working out, not working out. But even when it is not working out, you as founder, you as the business owner kind of take a lot out of something which was not that successful, maybe, and then implement it in the next venture. So thank you. Thank you for being upfront and honest about it. Perfect. Perfect, Jasmine. Moving on, we discussed about how your model is right now in the green room as to working with contractors and freelancers and not really having people, directly under your payroll. If you can explain or elaborate a bit more on it, how it has actually worked out for you, and what are the challenges that one might face when they're adopting this model and how they should overcome it.
hmm Well, when we first started Oko, we knew that we wanted to work with a diverse range of client types. So, like I said earlier in the call, we work with a lot of different industries. We also work with a lot of different business sizes and across geographical areas. And
Mhm.
given this, when we had our team members as employees, we found that it was more difficult for us to specifically pair our team members with projects that they would be a fit for. If we had an in-house social media manager, they were handling all social media management projects. Whereas
Mhm.
when we moved to the contractor model, we're able to bring on and adjust our team to the client's specific needs. So we are able to keep in mind not only the skill set of that particular contractor, but also their understanding of the client's target market. So there are contractors that we work with very frequently. We're working with them every single month. But then there are also contractors that we bring in here and there when they're specifically a great fit for the client. And we've found that through that, we're able to have better results for our clients and specialize in many different niches as opposed to having to stay in one specific industry or business size.
Lovely, lovely. Coming to, moving on actually, what is a non obvious brand lever that I've seen consistently unlock traction for startups? Something, most marketers kind of miss out.
Yeah, absolutely. I would say that one that comes to mind immediately is being more community driven.
Mhm.
We see a lot of brands these days looking for these vanity metrics, like getting as many followers as possible, as many impressions and engagements, wanting to go viral, all of these kinds of things. But that doesn't necessarily lead to conversion or true brand awareness where the people that are following truly understand and are loyal to the brand. So when it comes to more community driven validation, we recommend, having in-person activations and events, opportunities for smaller but a highly engaged group to really get involved with your brand and be loyal to it. And then as well, founder visibility. So we see a lot of founders and marketers talking about personal brands, and we see that on the brand pages themselves, content with the founder performs on average 4 times as well. So, really putting a face to the brand. People want that human centric feeling, anyways. They want to connect with the person behind the brand, not just this sterile brand identity. So, yeah, having founder visibility and more community driven marketing are two things that I highly recommend.
Absolutely. And talking about engineering a brand narrative, that is kind of magnetic enough to pull people into both worlds. What is your strategy there?
Yeah, I would say that starting with founder clarity. So, why you, why now, and why this? So, really defining all of that for your audience through storytelling and then taking the audience through the tension of the story. So, bringing them through the problem that you are facing as a founder into now how you're solving that problem and your vision for the future. And then, as well, layering in some repeatable language that your audience can carry. So, whether this be taglines, an example of this was when I was naming Remint, I wanted the name to be verbable so that if someone said, where is your dress from? You could say, I reminted it. So, just these phrases that people can start to hear out in the real world. And then, as you mentioned, being magnetic. So, giving people a story that they want to retell. A really good example of all of these points is the founder of Ditto, Lily. She, during COVID, went through a breakup. She started telling this story on TikTok, and I quickly kind of started seeing her content. And she talked about how during this, challenging time, she was really utilizing her notes app and her phone to journal, to save things, to reference back to. And this was, a very lonely time for her. And she wanted to have a platform that offered this kind of notes app feel, but with community where people can engage with your note, make their own. And so she brought the followers through the journey of, conceptualizing this, of building it, of putting it out there. And because of that, she has such a loyal following and was able to be in the top charts in the App Store very quickly. So when I see stories like that, where the storytelling is really, really getting into that founder clarity of going back to the, why now? Why you, why this, then I think that people are really, drawn in and excited to follow along on your journey.
Absolutely. Great, Jasmine. Thank you so much for the wonderful pointers there. And for our audiences, obviously, you have tried, a few startups, right? And it's more important, like we were discussing, to know what not to do. But as an entrepreneur, to our young listeners today, what is that one piece of advice you'd want to give to them if they really are trying to start out on their entrepreneurial journey?
Yeah, I would say that the main thing is to truly listen to your customers. So don't get so excited about your idea that you are defensive when customers give you
Point
feedback.
there.
Yeah, truly take
We
it
love.
under consideration. So that would be number one. So listening to your customers and listening to them early. I think that a lot of founders wait until they've launched before they start surveying customers and really engaging with their customer base. But I actually think that this should start long before launch when you're really conceptualizing it, and look outside of, personal connections like friends and family. They want to support you. They're going to give you encouraging feedback, whereas you really need the true, maybe more harsh feedback in those early days. So I'd say listening to your customers and then launching fast and adjusting. So knowing that you need to just get it out there, it doesn't need to be perfect, and you can adjust along the way.
Lovely, lovely. All right, Jasmine, this has been a great conversation. Thank you so much for taking out time to do this with us. Really appreciate it. Yeah.
Thank you so much for having me.